Hi and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use VAPI AI voice assistant to book an appointment directly into Google Calendar. Check out this demo where I'm conversing with an AI voice agent and it helps me book a gym tour appointment. The fictitious gym is called Fitness Now.
This is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hey Sarah, this is Sandeep here. How are you doing?
Hey, Sandeep, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How can I help you today?
I'd like to book an appointment, a gym tour basically.
Awesome. I'd be happy to help with that. Could you please tell me your full name?
Alright, my name is Sandeep K.
Thanks, Sandy. When would you like to schedule your gym tour? Just let me know the date and time that works best for you.
Okay, how about this Saturday on 21st?
We are closed on weekends. Can you pick a date between Monday and Friday?
Sure, how about Thursday at 8 p.m.?
Our tour hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Can you pick a time within those hours?
Sure, why don't you give me some options for Thursday?
Give me a moment. All right, here are some available times for Thursday. 9 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 3:30 p.m. Which one works best for you, Sandy?
Okay, let's do 3:30 p.m. on Thursday.
Great choice. I'll need your phone number and email to finalize the booking.
Sure. My phone number is 12345678 and my email
Got it.
is, you can say hello@123.com.
Perfect. So just to confirm, name Sandy K, phone 123456678, email hello@123.com, tour date and time, Thursday, September 19th, 2024 at 3:30 p.m. Is that all correct?
Yeah, that's all correct. You can go ahead and book.
Hold on a sec. Awesome, Sandy. Your gym tour is all set for Thursday, September 19th at 3:30 p.m.
Sounds good.
Anything else you need help with?
No, thank you, Sarah.
Great.
Bye. Goodbye. And just like that, a gym tour appointment is booked for me. The AI has successfully added the appointment details to Fitness Now's Google Calendar. No receptionist, no managers, no missed calls. Just a voice AI system that works 24/7, 365, so your business never misses any leads. So, whether you're an agency, restaurant, a real estate agent, lawyer, doctor, dentist, or practically any business, AI voice agents can streamline your workflow and enhance your productivity, all while saving you a lot of money. Okay, in this video, I will walk you through step by step how to build an appointment setting system from scratch using VAPI, Voice AI, Make.com automations, and Google Calendar, so the whole system works seamlessly. Also, the AI system will be able to handle three main scenarios that are integral to any appointment booking system. Scenario 1. If the user tries to book an appointment on a holiday like a Saturday or a Sunday, the system should be able to tell them to choose a different date. Scenario 2 is if the user tries to book an appointment outside the regular business hours, the system should ask them to pick a different time during the working hours. And scenario 3, when the user selects a date, the system should tell them 5 available time slots for that day so that they can choose one that works best for them. And then the system can book that time slot. Okay, so if you're watching this video for the first time and don't know who I am, my name is Sandeep Kayastha. I have over 2 decades of experience in building technology-driven systems, and I've worked with multiple Fortune 500 companies. I also hold double master's degrees from top US universities. Now, I run my AI agency called FlipBytes, where we help businesses with automations using AI to help them streamline their workflows, get them more clients, boost their productivity, and save them money. Okay, let's deep dive into the video. So, here are the topics that we will be covering in this video. 1. How to create a voice assistant in VAPI. 2. How to create a good prompt to get the desired result. 3. How to create tools in VAPI and then use them in function calls to perform a certain action. 4. How to buy a phone number from Twilio and then connect it to VAPI Assistant. We'll also create 2 automations using Make.com. So 1 is to check the date and time availability, and 2 is to book the time available. To book the available time. So there you go. That's the plan. So this will be a comprehensive step-by-step video for building a basic appointment setting system using Voice AI, which should suffice for 70% of the business cases. However, if your requirements are different or more advanced, I suggest joining the FlipBytes AI community, where you will meet other AI enthusiasts who can help you. Or you can book a free discovery call with my agency and we can discuss your project. I'll leave the links to join the community or to book a call with me in the description below. Okay, for now, close all your tabs, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and let's get started. Don't forget to add this video to your favorites so you can easily come back to it later for reference. As always, all the templates, links, documents, prompt, etc., which I use in this video will be available on the Resource Hub. Okay, let's go to step one, which is to build the VAPI AI assistant. Okay, great. So before we start doing everything, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what all systems we'll be using and how they will all come together. So since this particular project has got multiple moving parts, okay, I just want to give you a brief overview. So the first thing is the VAPI dashboard. This is where we create the voice assistant, and I'm going to take you through this in detail once we create the assistant. Now, once we create a voice assistant and we want to make bookings and we want to cancel bookings, or we want to know what an order number is, anything which we want to do will be done through make.automations. Okay, so let's go to make.com automations. So make.com, let me just go there real quick. Okay, so this is make.com. Okay, perfect. So this is make.com. Okay, what is make.com? Make.com is basically an automation platform. And what it does is it actually transfers data between applications, which don't talk to each other. So let's say when you receive an email, you want something to happen in your CRM. Now your email and your CRM don't talk to each other, but they talk via Make. That's what it is, right? So it is basically a platform which connects different apps, and it can be one app, 1 to 2 apps, or it can be multiple apps, or it can have a lot of logic. Everything you can create in this system. And so there are 2 of them we'll be using in this particular automation. One is this, which is check availability. And the second one is once a time is available. So let's say you say that I'm looking for Saturday at 3 p.m. or Friday at 3 p.m. And if the time is available, then we will use this automation, which will automatically create an event. Okay, so this will actually book an appointment in Google Calendar and sends a response back to VAPI saying that, hey, the appointment is booked, and then of course the VAPI assistant tells you that the appointment is confirmed. So that is the whole thing. So one is your assistant, which will create a VAPI assistant which connects to your phone. The second is the automation which checks for availability, and the third is the one which actually books the call. All right, so let's go ahead and start our process of creating the assistant. So the first thing is to create a voice AI assistant. Okay, and for that we'll be using a platform called VAPI. Okay, that's really good. And so in order for you to start, basically you need to create an account out here. I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in and take you through the platform. All right, so let's go here and let me show you the platform real quick. So once you log into VAPI, you'll see something called a dashboard, which actually gives you a breakdown of just basic analytics like total call minutes you've used, number of calls, total money spent, and it gives you the reason the call ended, whether it was ended by the bot itself or it was ended by the customer, and what was the average call duration. So this you can actually have a filter by day, by week, by month, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it just gives you a basic breakdown. The next is to create an assistant. Okay, so with an assistant you have phone numbers. So I'm going to go through this later on. But with an assistant, you have a phone number. You can get the phone number from Twilio or some other place, and then you can connect it to the assistant so that when somebody calls, they call on the phone. Okay, so that is there. Then you have files. Basically, files is nothing but knowledge base. If you're a gym, then you probably have some PDFs on nutrition and different programs which you have. So that's what is files. So basically, it can be in a PDF format, can be a web scraping, it can be text, whatever it is that you have. You can actually add it out here and then connect it to the assistant. So the assistant uses that. All right. Then you have tools. Tools is where you actually create functions. So basically, as I said, if you want your assistant to actually do something, if I say that I want to book an appointment, now it gets booked in Google Calendar. Okay, so there are 2 different things. One is VAPI, voice assistant, and Google Calendar. How do they talk to each other? That is where the tools come in. So you write a function which says book an appointment or check availability, and it goes outside using, as I said before, using make.com automations. They talk to each other. So that is where you write the functions. And we'll go through this all in detail. All right. And then you have blocks and squads. And this is advanced basics. I'm going to come to this later on. Squads is nothing but having multiple AI assistants work together to achieve a goal. Okay, so there's just not one, but you'll have 3 or 4 of them, and they work in tandem. So we'll cover that later on in a different video. But for now, basically, let's create an assistant. All right, to create an assistant, just let's click on create assistant, and I'm just going to call it fitness now. And this is a blank template, or you can use an appointment setter, or you can use a customer service. So this is an appointment setter, so I'm just going to go ahead and with the template, but it doesn't matter. You can pick up a blank as well. Create assistant. So this is the fitness now. This is the one which we are creating right now, and this was the one which we already created. Okay. So the first thing in fitness now, so you can see there are different tabs out here. I'm going to take you through them. All right. So the first is the model. Now, what is the model? A model is a provider, like which LLM, which large language model do you use? Okay, so do you want to use? So you have OpenAI, you have Anthropic, you have Grok, you have VAPI as well, basically. So for this particular example, I'm going to be using OpenAI, and within OpenAI, I'm going to change this to 4.0 cluster. And so you have OpenAI, you have a model cluster. We have already picked this up. Knowledge base, we don't have any knowledge base, but as I said, if you have knowledge base regarding, let's say you have files on nutrition and you want the AI assistant to answer questions, if there are some questions regarding nutrition, regarding exercise routine, or whether you have which all courses you have, or what all yoga courses you have, and all those things. If you have that, you can train your AI assistant to answer those questions as well. And those are the files which goes in the file section, okay? And then you can connect that to the knowledge base. But since I don't have any files, I'm just going to leave this open, right? So there's nothing out here. Okay. The next is temperature. Now, what is temperature? So I'm going to reduce this to 0.4. Now, temperature is something which is basically in LLM or larger language model is called hallucinations, which essentially means is the lower the temperature, which is closer to 0, the more it is going to be fixated or fixed on your knowledge base, on your data. So it is not going to go ahead and use its own data, or it is not going to make up stuff. So it is always a good practice to kind of keep this around 0.3 to 0.4. So it has the LLM, the assistant has the creative ability as well, little bit of it, but it mostly gets answers all the questions using your data, and it doesn't start hallucinating and making up stuff. So that is again something which you need to take care of. All right, maximum tokens, I would say make it 300. So this should be between 250 to 300. The reason is that if you have more tokens, the answers will be longer. When you're actually having a conversation, it should be short bursts, short sentences, all right? So when I ask a question, the AI answers back. Again, I ask a question, the AI answers back and everything, but it doesn't give me a story, all right? So when you have, let's say instead of 300 tokens, if I use 500 tokens or 1000 tokens or something, so that basically means the answer, the reply of the AI is going to be much more. It will be bigger and it will take a lot of time. And that doesn't make sense. So it is not a fluid conversation. It is more like I'm asking a question and the AI is narrating a story. You don't want that, okay? So what you want is that it should have short bursts. So keep your tokens between 250 to 300. That's an ideal range. All right. So once you do this, this is the model part, all right? And then we come to the prompt. But I'm going to break the prompt in detail. Let me just walk you through the other sections as well. And again, this is not a deep dive on VAPI. I just want to give you an overview. And I'll probably create another video where I deep dive into VAPI with all the settings and everything. But right now, this is just the basic, okay? So we'll, as a transcriber, basically just let it be the way it is. In voice, this is an important section as well, where you have, this is where you can choose the kind of voice you want, right? So there are different providers. One is Cartesia, the other is 11 Labs. I generally like 11 Labs. I've used Cartesia, but I like 11 Labs because the voices are more authentic, okay? So that is the reason I use this. So 11 Labs and Sarah is what we use. So basically, I'm going to keep it Sarah out here, and you can there are a lot of options. Matthew, Adam, so on and so forth. So basically, you can see that. But in this case, I will just use 11 Labs, and then of course the model basically. So again, the model is what kind of 11 Labs Turbo. So there are different models which you have. One thing which is very, very important when you're actually picking up a voice is the latency part, right? So if you see the latency is the time delay. When you're actually talking to somebody, sometimes there's a lag, okay? And that lag in the phone is because of latency, all right? So the shorter the latency, the better it is, because then it gives you an experience which is like you are having a fluid conversation. But if that is not there, if the latency is very high, then you actually ask a question and after 1 or 2 seconds, the person replies. So that is not very fluid. So, and doesn't give you a very good experience, of course. So keep the latency very low, okay? So like in this case, it is, it's still okay. 1 second is still okay. It's about 1050. So right now, the latency is 1050, okay? So if I were to select a model, which is V1, you see this increase to 1850. That's almost 2 seconds. And that is not good. Make sure that, okay, your latency is about 1 second, or even the lesser the better. So, and whatever you like, basically, if you like Cartesia and HANA, which is 900 milliseconds, which is not bad at all. This is a very, very good latency. And if you like this works. But I prefer, personally, I prefer 11 labs, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. This is 1850, so I'm going to use a different engine for this one. And this is 11 labs turbo. If I switch on to this thing, it reduces to 1050, which works out. And as you see, you've already seen that in the demo, there is not much of a lag. It is pretty fluid. Okay, so this is what I used. All right. In additional configuration, you have something called a background noise. This is default. It'll basically sort of emulate an office environment where people are talking at the back, a little bit here and there. So you can do that. I don't personally like it, especially for YouTube videos. And so I'm going to switch it off. But you can actually, if in case you want to give it a very authentic, sort of background, you can switch to default or office, so you can actually have that. So these are the only two settings out here which I've done. So I've switched it to 11 labs, but again, and use this model. But if you want Cartesia, which is the default one, that's also fine. All right. So that is transcriber. Next is functions, and we'll be creating functions. As I said before, functions is where you connect the VAPI AI assistant with the outside world. So if you want to book an appointment, or you want to check availability, or you want to know your order number, and if you're creating a voice assistant which is for an e-commerce company, right? So if you want to check your order number or where exactly your order is at this point of time, all this can be accomplished through using functions. All right. And the most important thing is the prompt. So let's publish this, and let's talk with it, and let's see what it says.
Hello, this is Mary from Mary's Dental. How can I assist you today?
Oh, okay. So I did not change the prompt basically. So that's fine. In Fitness Now, you can see that this is where it's picking up from. Okay.
I think you might have the wrong number. This is Mary's Dental. How can I help you with your teeth today?
All right, great. So now we've already created the assistant. The next thing is to create the prompt, okay? So if you see, the default prompt is, it's talking about, hey, this is Mary from Mary's Dental. So we need to change this, of course, because we are making an AI assistant for a gym called Fitness Now. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this one, and then I'm going to walk you through this prompt. So let me just pick this up, and I'm going to paste this in. Okay, so I'm just going to paste in this notepad, so it is helpful to you. All right, let's go through this. So this is the system prompt which we are using, okay? And when it starts off, it says, hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you? So this is basically your introduction statement. Now, when your voice AI starts, this is exactly what it says. So you can actually change it to Sarah or Hannah or your name, and whatever you want. If you don't want how may I help you, you can remove that, and you can just say, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. So you can totally play with this, okay? The next is the system prompt. Now, what is this? Prompt is what tells the voice assistant, the LLM, what you want it to do, essentially, okay? These are instructions. So and you need to give context in a prompt. You need to give it a background, like who you are, basically. So in this case, you're saying you are a voice assistant for Fitness Now, a gym located at 123 Avenue, Singapore. We offer monthly memberships with basic classes like CrossFit and optional personal training services. Your role is to assist potential members in understanding our membership options and scheduling gym tours. The gym tour hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we are closed on Saturday and Sunday. So you need to actually give instructions. That is what a prompt is. A prompt is actually telling the LLM that this is who you are, behave like this. This is what your capabilities are, and this is what you need to follow. And so go ahead and actually now talk to the assistant. So now the AI assistant has become the voice AI assistant is now, pretending as a Fitness Now manager. So then it is out here. So you are tasked with answering questions about the gym and booking tours. If they wish to schedule a tour, your goal is to gather necessary information from the caller in a friendly and efficient manner, like follows. Okay, so the first thing is ask their full name, and then ask their preferred date and time of tour. So this is how you build it. So prompt is a very important thing for any AI assistant, whether you're making a voice AI assistant, whether you're creating a AI chatbot. This is where you define all these things. Okay, so for example, in our case, okay, ask their full name. So once they tell their full name, ask their preferred date and time. So let's say if I say I'm Sandeep, and my preferred date of gym tour is Wednesday at 3 p.m. Now, the first thing is this is the function call after this. This is what I was talking about, where it says once the customer name and preferred date of tour is collected, run the check availability function. Okay, so this is a function. We'll be creating functions later on, but as I said, function is basically the way VAPI assistant communicates with the outside world. All right, so at this point of time in check availability function, what it wants to do is it wants to go to Google Calendar and find out, oh, do we have an appointment for Wednesday 3 p.m. So that is what the check availability function will do. If it's not available, it'll get back to you saying that, hey, it's not available, but these are the times which are available. Do you want something on that basis? All right, so that is the function call. So after that, then the next is list 5 available times. So if you saw in that demo, the system gave me 5 options that based on the availability times on Thursday. So these are all the instructions which are written down here. If the user wants to book a tour within the available time, ask for the phone number and email. If they need more options, and then ask them to choose from the available times and repeat them. Okay, and then you need to say confirm the full name. So all these instructions I've given. That is why the the AI assistant was behaving in a certain way. And once all this information is collected, then it says once all this information is collected, run the book appointment function, which is the second function which actually puts the booking into Google Calendar and confirms. So this is how you write a prompt. Okay, and there are different ways to write a prompt. You can actually refer. I'll put some links in the description, which are for kind of enhancing your knowledge on prompt engineering. This is a field in itself. It's very, very important. But you need to learn how to write a prompt, because prompt is how you efficiently sort of communicate with the LLM. Also, one thing which is very, very important in a prompt is are examples. So if you can provide 1 or 2 examples, it's always better, because then the LLM knows exactly how it's supposed to behave. So if you can see, I have mentioned hash, double hash. So these are the notations used by OpenAI to write prompts. I don't want to digress too much, but I'll create a separate video on prompts, how to create a prompt for voice AI assistants, and that'll be only a video on detailed. I'll cover everything in detail in that. But for now, basically, just understand that when you're writing a prompt, so instructions are important, okay? And the next thing is examples. So if you give an example, the AI assistant knows what to do. So in this case, we are saying that there's a script, and then you say, hey, thank you for calling Fitness Now. We offer gym memberships, fitness calls, and personal trainings. How can I help you? And this is sort of you're emulating a conversation between the AI and a customer. So you can write all of these things down, so the AI knows that, okay, this is how I need to answer. All right. So that is the prompt. Now let's copy this. Okay, and let's put it back there. I'm going to replace this with, this is our Fitness Now, where it's Mary's Dental. I'm just going to change this to this. And it says Mary's Dental again. So let's copy the first portion as well. Okay, and just remember to publish. So now it's all set, okay? There's one more place we need to change, and that is, I think in advanced, when you end the call. So there's something when you end the call, you need to write that as well. Yeah, this is the one, voicemail message, and this is end call message. Thank you for contacting Mary Dental. Have a great day. So you need to change this to, and let's pick up this from there only, end call message. All right, so you have this. And the voicemail message as well. Hey, this is Mary from Mary's Dental. Please call back when. So this is, you can say this is Sarah from Fitness Now. Okay, that's it. And now let's publish it. And we are done. So now we have everything which is customized to Fitness Now. Okay, and we have a model as well. So now if you want to run it, we can actually see how it sounds. And latency is this much. Okay, so let's test it. Talk with an assistant, and let's see how it works.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hi Sarah, this is Sandeep here. How are you doing?
Hey Sandeep, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How can I help you today?
Sarah, I'd like to book an appointment, please.
Sure thing, Sandeep. Can I get your full name, please?
My full name is Sandeep K.
Got it. Thanks, Sandeep. When would you like to schedule your tour? And what time works best for you?
Okay, So I'm just going to end this call now. And as you can see, this is working fine now. So because, we don't have functions. So there's no way VAPI assistant can communicate out with the outside world. So what we need to do is we need to write functions so that it actually can go and check availability, okay? Just a quick note. I hope you're finding this video helpful. And if you are, please give it a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Making these videos takes a lot of time and effort. So your support really helps this channel and encourages me to keep making more content like this for you. Also, I firmly believe that AI automation can be transformative for many businesses. So on this channel, my goal is to create many more videos where I show you step by step how to use AI to automate business workflows and processes to boost your productivity. So if you're interested in this kind of content, hit the subscribe button now so you never miss out when I post a new video. If you would like to work with us, you can schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me, and I'll leave all the links in the description. Okay, let's get back to the video. So this is the prompt. So prompt is done. It is conversing fine. All right, so let's go to tools now. All right, perfect. So now we have already created the AI assistant, and the next step is to create the tools, okay? So that the AI assistant can talk to the outside world. All right. So what we'll do is we need to actually create two. I'm going to create again from scratch. So let's call it new tool. And then I want to create a make.conf. Okay, so that's what we're doing. And there is a server URL. Now, let me just walk you through this real quick. All right, so let's go here. Okay. How does this work basically? So the moment when I'm talking on the phone, okay, and when I say that, okay, please book a tour, the function within VAPI Assistant activates, okay? But it has to send that information somewhere. And that is where a webhook comes in, okay? So a webhook is something like it's polling for information. It's asking VAPI, hey, do you have something for me? Do you have something for me? And the moment VAPI sends, hey, I have a name and a date, can you go and check the availability? So that information comes directly to the webhook, which is here, and then of course it goes to the whole process of finding whether the time is available or not, okay? But that is essentially what a webhook is. So when we are looking, this is a server URL, this is the URL which we want, all right? So I'm going to create a new function right here first, because it's sort of like we need to go back and forth. We'll go to scenarios. I'm going to create a new scenario. Example, fitness now, check availability new, all right? So that's what I'm going to call this. And let's create a webhook, and then go to custom webhook, and it's ready now. All right, so now you need to actually create a webhook out here. Okay, so for us, we'll say add, and I'm just gonna say webhook check availability now. So not example, I'll just say fitness now, check availability new. All right, so and that's it. New, so we know that this is the new one which we're creating. Okay, and I'm going to say okay, and this is the URL. All right, so it gives you a URL. So just copy this, simple. This is just copy this address, say okay, and it's ready. And then go back to your VAPI and then paste this out here. So essentially what it does is this tool which we're creating now is now connected to this right here. Okay, so save this. Next, and now we need to create some properties. So when you're creating a tool again for checking the availability, what do you need? You need the name of the person and you need the date. Okay, so let's create that. So name, and you can say name of the user. Okay, one more thing, this is very important when you're writing a schema, when you're building a schema for an AI assistant, voice AI assistant. This is very important because whatever you write out here is something which the LLM recognizes. Okay, so the more descriptive you are, the better it is. With a username, you cannot be very adventurous or very descriptive because it's a username. But then for something like check availability, you need to give more. The more descriptive you give as a property, the more description you write, the better it is, because then the LLM can actually decipher that, it can understand, and it can say, okay, this is what the user means, right? So name of the user, and it's a string. Data types, string is like generally anything which is alphanumeric, and numeric number is when you're using a phone number or you need an order number, something which is number, which you use that. Boolean, of course, is true and false. Object and array are two different things, and I'll cover that later on. But array is generally a collection of things. But anyways, I don't want to confuse you on that. But for now, in most cases, you'll use a string. Okay, so name of the user is a string and just say save, and it's saved out here. And then let's add another property, and you say date and time. So one thing I wanted to actually, I've not done that in the last demo, but I think it's much better. So whenever you're using a user-defined thing, it's much better to actually start with the underscore. So let me just actually go ahead and replace this underscore name, and then you can actually say this, and then you will have out here, let's call it a property called date and time. And this is the reason we use this is so that it is, you have system variables as well. So when you say underscore, this is sort of like a notation. It's like user defined. Okay, so you know that it's defined by you rather than a system. So there's less confusion. So they are just standard notations which you generally use in programming or otherwise creating things. So it's just easier to recognize. Okay, so when I say use underscore date and time, this, and then you can say something like the user requested date and time to book the gym tour. Okay, and that's it. So now you save this, and then you say next, and the name of the function now. So I'm going to say check availability. All right, check availability, and then you need to write the description. So the description will be this function. Okay, so when you describe it, this function checks the date and time availability for the user to book a gym tour. Okay, so that's why you define this, which actually tells the AI assistant that, okay, this is the purpose of this particular function, and that's it, and you create it. So if you see, now we have a check availability underscore. This is a new one. Okay, and this is what it does, and it's already connected now. So let's give it a shot. Let's test this right now. Obviously we have to build the whole thing, but I'm going to show you at least starting off whether this is working and this is connected or not. Okay, so this is the new one which we created right now. Actually, I'm just going to create this as check availability as well, so that there is a common notation. Check availability. I'm going to call this right now like this only. Actually, it's much better. Fitness now, check availability. So we know this is the new one. And this webhook is connected to this particular assistant. All right. So I'm just going to run it once. And when you run it once, it is now polling. Now it's waiting for VAPI to give instructions and data, send the data. All right. And we have right here. So let's check this. Now we go back to assistant. We go back to our fitness now. And actually, I'm going to change the notation out here as well, so it's easier to recognize. And I'm just going to call it fitness now like this. All right. So now this is fitness now. It's much better. Okay, so fitness now. Now we have to go to functions, and we need to connect this. So in functions, you need to select the tool. So we have already created the tool. We see this check availability function here. Select that, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Okay. So this particular AI assistant is now connected to that tool. Okay, and I say publish. Just remember to publish. Perfect. So this is your model, this is your voice, and this is your function. Okay, let's test this. So the expected behavior is that when I actually talk to the AI assistant and I tell the name and everything, it will call the function now. So when I run it now, it should actually get some data out here. So let's run it.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hey Sarah, can you book an appointment for me, please?
Of course. Could you please tell me your full name?
My full name is Sandeep.
Great, Sandeep. When would you like to schedule your gym tour? Please provide a date and time.
How about tomorrow at 12 p.m.?
Hold on a sec.
There you go. Okay, now we can switch this off. And as you can see, okay, so this is connected. Now you have the data right here. If you see that message, and if you go down to the assistant, you go to tool call list, arguments, keep on going down to tool call list, function, this function, and the arguments. You can see it has gotten Sandeep, and it's got September 20th. Why is it September 20th? Because tomorrow is September 20th. Okay, so today is September 19th, it is September 20th. So that is where it actually gets all this stuff. So now you can see that it's connected. Okay, all right, great. So now let's build even further. So now we already have the date and time which it's sending from VAPI. The next thing is to actually go to make.com and kind of build the check availability function. All right, so now we already know that this is working fine. All right, and the next step is to actually convert this date into date which actually Google Calendar can understand, because Google Calendar it has a separate format for date. okay? And in order for us to pull the date from there, and in order for us to write back to the calendar so that, to book an appointment, we need to have that same format. And that's where ChatGPT comes in, okay? So now next step is to add a ChatGPT this thing. So let's go to ChatGPT prompt. We'll go to OpenAI and then say create a completion. Okay, so when we do this, all right. So model we'll put in as 4.0 system. I think that's what we used out there as well. All right. So in the ChatGPT step, what we need to do is we need to define two things. One is the message role. This is where you provide the instructions to the LLM. And the second is the user role, which is the data. This is where you provide the data, which you want it to process according to the instructions out here. Okay. So let me just take you through this real quick. So these are the instructions for the system, okay? You have just asked the user when they would like to book a meeting. You will be provided with the current date and time in the response, okay? So you have to write that context. You have some instructions out here. You have an output example that the start date and start time, end time is in this format. This is the format which you want. And whereas you have +800, what is that? This is the current time zone, okay? And so we are in Singapore. So I'm based in Singapore, and that's where I'm making the video. And so this is basically your GMT +8, okay? And it can be different for different places. This is where you add. So this is the output example. And the rules are the start date must always be 9 a.m. because we already had 9 a.m., right? So of course, if you have if your business is at it starts at 10 to 7, you can just change this out here. The end time is there. So you're basically giving instructions. And then you'll say the output should always start with a curly bracket because that's how you want the output to to process it, okay? So let me just take that, say this thing, and then put it out here in the message content, paste, and that's it, okay? So we don't want to use this. All right. The next is the date itself. So now when you say that I want to book it tomorrow, like when somebody says, like the way I said, I want to book it tomorrow, or I want to book it day after, how does the LLM know that what are you talking about? Okay, tomorrow in Singapore is very different from tomorrow in New York and in Japan. So that is where this thing comes in, basically, that it's important to know what time zone it is, like when you're saying this. And then of course you need to give some reference. So what I will do is, all right. So for the user, for the next role, you need to write something like the current date time is now. And now in double curly brackets basically means it says, it is the current date time. So you need to tell the current date time to ChatGPT. When I say tomorrow, okay, it needs to know what exactly is today and what is the time which is running today. What is the, okay, so if it's today at this time and what exactly is your time zone. When it has all this information, it then can calculate what the user means by tomorrow or day after, in which time zone. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it there and right here, okay? So again, we have to, this is when the user would like to book. Now this is where the user time is coming in, okay? So for that, I need to write, I'll pick up a date from here, okay? So as you can see, like when I said tomorrow, from here, it is coming in this place. It is coming in tools, it is coming in functions, arguments, and date and time. So anyways, it's coming September 20th, that's fine, but you just need to write this like this. Pick up the variable. Okay, and it's added here. So now what is going to happen is that when this system runs, this is going to take, the ChatGPT is going to take instructions from here, how to process the data, and then it'll say the current date time now is the system time, and it'll give that, and then when the user wants, so if it says tomorrow, day after, September 20th, 21st, whatever it is, it will take that and then process it according to this thing. All right, and that's it. Say okay, and we are ready with this stuff as well. Also, one very important thing I forgot is that you need a connection to OpenAI, okay? So I already had a connection. That is the reason I forgot to mention that, but let me show you how to do that. So when you go here, I have my OpenAI connection. When you say add, in your case, you will not have this. So you need to add that, and it says my OpenAI connection. You can call it anything you want. And you need an API key and an organization ID. Okay, so when you click on this link, it will take you directly. So you need to have an account with OpenAI, and you need to have a key as well. So once you come here, you can create a new key, like, and you can say that, all right, you know, make.com or mymake.com or whatever you want to call it. And then you can actually, once you create a key, it'll give you a number, right? So let me just show you right now. Let's say I'll call it test and default project. I'll say create a secret key. And this is my secret key, okay? Obviously, I'm going to delete it right now. But just to give an example, this is what you copy it, and then you can put it back here, API key, all right? It's right here. But I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. There you go. Okay, so that's how you create that API key. The next, what you need is an organization ID. Again, when you actually create an OpenAI account, you will have an organization ID and you need to add it out here. So an organization ID, this is my organization ID, and this is what you need to mention out here. Okay, so once you mention, then you can create a connection, and that's when this will be available to you. So just wanted to mention that. Right. So now we have completed our OpenAI step. Okay, so let's test this and if it's working fine. So I'm going to run this once again. And then again, this is polling. And let's go back to VAPI and test this.
This is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hi, Sarah. I'd like to book an appointment.
Of course. Could you please tell me your full name?
My full name is Sandeep.
Great, Sandeep. When would you like to schedule your gym tour? Please provide a date and time.
How about day after tomorrow?
This'll just take a sec. All right, Sandeep. Here are 5 available.
Okay. And that's it. All right. So we already have some data now and it's working fine. Let's see the output of whether the output is coming fine or not. All right. So as you can see, when I said, within the call, I said, I want to book for day after tomorrow. So, okay. So if you say day after tomorrow, today is created on 19th. So this is right now today's date. And then start time is on the 9th, 21st, and end time is on the 21st as well. Okay. So it's working fine. Now the next step is that, so we need to use this output. So for the following step, we'll be using a JSON parser. Okay. And don't worry about it. It's a pretty straightforward step. Just say parse, and then we need to create a new data structure, and just say add, and I'm just going to use the same notation, underscore fitness now, so we know exactly where it's coming from, right? TNSS now, and then I would say DS1. So DS1 is data structure 1, and actually, yeah, that's it. Add item. So let's add start time in this thing. So I'm going to say underscore start time and just leave everything else as default, and then put in end time. There you go. Okay, and again leave everything else thing and just say save. Now when it says save, we have to put a JSON string to parse like whatever is coming from your chat GPT. So I need to put this. Okay, so when you click on this, we have all this data right here. Okay, so what we need is the chat GPT output. So for the output, you will go to chat GPT, then you will go to choices. Within choices, you have something called message. Within message, you have something called content. As you can see, you have a start time right here. Okay, so you pick this content and you put it out here, and that's it. That's all you need to do. So now after this, the JSON will do its own magic. Okay. So the next step is, so we already have now the start time and end time in JSON. And the next step is to actually, find the day of a week. And why do we need that? So what we need is that we need to act when the time comes in, right? So when somebody says that I want to come and book an appointment tomorrow or day after, we need to know what is that day, whether it's a Sunday or a Saturday or a Monday. And for that, we need to actually extract that from the date. Okay. And for that, we'll use a variable. So let's go to, there is tools. Within tools, you have something called set variable. Okay. So we'll go to set variable, and then let's name this variable day of week. We need to format this. So for formatting this, we will actually go to format, and let's see format. Where is format? Within the date function. So basically in date, you should be able to see format. So its format is right here, and then let's go back. Okay, so in format date, now we'll pick up the start date. Okay, the start date needs to come right in between right here. So we'll put the start date here, and this is the way you want the date to come. So when you put DDDD, it will be Saturday, Sunday, Monday. When you put DDD, it will be SUNSAT. So we'll just put DD. Okay, and in DD the format, what it's going to do is this is going to take the start date, and the format date function, it will just extract whether it's a SU or a SN, or sorry, SA or SU, which is Saturday or a Sunday. Okay, so that's what it is. All right, so now we are here, and next is we'll put a router. So after this is flow control. Within flow control you have something called a router. So based on the value, it will actually route what it's supposed to be. Okay, so when you come here in the filter, let's set up a filter, and we say filter day of week. Okay, and we say as a fallback. So you can say yes, it's a fallback. Fallback basically means this is the first condition and there's a fallback condition. Okay, and what is the condition? The condition is that if the day of week, and I'm just going to say day of week, yes, if the day of week is a Saturday, which is the value is SA, and add one more, and or if the day of week is a Sunday. Okay, so this is what it is. So if the day of week is a Saturday, or if the day of week is a Sunday, then you execute this condition. Okay, so we just say okay, and it's right here. And so let's say if the date is actually calculated as Sunday, it'll go here, otherwise it'll go here. Okay, so this is the fallback. And then what we need to do is we need to return a value to back to VAPI, saying that today is a Saturday or Sunday, so we can't book on this date. So for doing that, we actually again will use a webhook, but this is a response webhook. Okay, so it is different from this one. This is a receiving webhook, this is a response webhook, and out here it's the status is 200, which basically means that take this value and send it back to them, saying that okay, this date is not available. So there is a particular format for this, and I'm going to show you in VAPI documentation. If you go here in server response format, providing results and content, how do you provide results back? This is the format to actually do that. Okay, so you just copy this and you go back to your VAPI, sorry, make, and within the body just type this. So I'm just going to remove the X part, and just going to go back to this right here, server tool call, and then cool ID, and then pick up this ID and put it right here, right in the middle of the apostrophes, and there you go. Okay, so you have this thing, and then the result is we are not available on weekends. Say okay, and that's it. So what essentially this is doing is that once let's say when the person says, hi, I'm looking for a date 21st Saturday, I want to book a tour on that date. That date is sent to VAPI, which gets processed through ChatGPT, which gets passed through JSON, which is again goes through this function, and it comes here. Now when it comes here, it is saying that okay, what is the day of week? It is Sunday or a Saturday. Now if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, it will pass this filter and it goes here, and then this sends a message back to VAPI, so that the bot, the AI assistant could tell the person, the user, that hey, that we don't take any bookings on the weekends, and so find a different date. Okay, so that's it. So this is the first flow, right? But if in case, let's say the person says, I'm looking for a date which is maybe a Thursday or a Wednesday, which actually meets the condition. So then the router, it basically pushes the flow here. So the flow comes this side, and this is where we need a Google Calendar. Now we will actually use an API in Google Calendar. Okay, so we need a Google Calendar here. Okay, so let's go to Google Calendar. Where is the calendar? And in Google Calendar, we will use something called make an API call. So what are we trying to do here? Basically, what this does is this is going to actually go, once we put in all the credentials, this call is going to go to Google Calendar. Okay, and the date is which has been parsed basically will be sent to Google Calendar, say that hey, this is what the user wants. Is this available or not available? To tell me. So that is where the API call to Google Calendar comes in. Okay. So now we need to get the API. So what is the API URL? Now you can see it is right here. If you can see this one, it's right here. But if you go to the documentation as well, so you can get that from the documentation. So if you go to Google Calendar documentation, this particular method is called free busy. Okay, and this is basically, it tells you within the calendar what dates are what times are free and busy. This is what you get. Okay, so this is the free busy query, and if you go here, this is the URL. So we will only use this particular part. That's it. And so let me just pick this up and put it out there. you'll put this right here. Okay, HTTP, yeah, so it's a post method. Okay, so what you need to do is actually we just go back, sorry, all right, and just make it as a post method. Within post method, you don't have to touch this. This is fine, this is fine. And within the body itself, that's where you actually put in the JSON. So in the body, you want the body like this, right? So this is the body, the request body. So I'm going to copy this right now, and then I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, I'm just going to close this for now, and we don't need these two, so I'm just going to get rid of them. So these are three: time min, time max, and time in, time max, time zone, and the ID string. And the ID string is nothing but your email which you use for the Google Calendar. All right, so let me fill this up. One second. Yeah, so date time, I'll pick up this date, which is start time. So I want to move this thing in date time, end time. Okay, and for the string, we again need, so just copy this. I don't want the quotations to be different, so I'm just going to remove this right here, paste it, and then say plus 08 colon 00, and then is this. Okay, so this is it. And within the ID string, I will say again, copy this, hello at flipbytes.co. That's it. All right, so this is my calendar ID. This is the email which I'm using to log into the calendar. This is my time zone. This is my start time and end time, which I'm getting from the JSON parser, okay, which has come through the chat GPT. All right, so that's it. And then you have all that information now, and that's it. So just say okay, and it's done. All right, so there are two options right now. So once you go through the API and you go to the calendar, hits the calendar and gets the date and time back, there can be two options. One, we have time slots. Second, we don't have any time slots for that particular day. All right, so now again we put a router, so then we have to actually cater to that, and so we have a router. In the first condition, we'll say that okay, fine, we have time slots available, and the next one we don't have time slots available. Okay, so in this case, set up a filter, say it's a fallback, no time slots, no time slots. Okay, and that's it. For now, basically we can actually do this. I'm going to set up the filter later on, but you have put the filter right now. And again, we will actually put in a response 200, go back to your, not this one, VAPI documentation, pick this up, go here. All right, so we go back to this, then again we go to this, and then we pick up this ID and we put it here right in the middle. Okay, and the result is we can say something like, sorry, there are no time slots available for this date, and say okay. So now if there are no time slots available, this will send a message back to VAPI saying that sorry, there are no time slots available. Okay, but if there are, so then this is where we actually do this one. Okay, so now the final flow is that we need to, if there are dates and times available, it needs to actually send it back to the VAPI assistant saying that okay, these are the slots which are available. Okay, so we had three conditions. First of all, it should not be a weekend, which we have already taken care of, and the second one is that if the date time slots are not available for the day which is requested by the client, then we have to send a message back, which is also taken care of. Now the third is that the time is available, the time is available for that particular date, and we need to send back all the time slots which we have. Okay, or at least maximum 5, but if we don't have 5 less than that, then it sends that back. All right, now with Google Calendar, when you have it, when it returns the time slots available, okay, it sends a collection of time slots. So it'll be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever it is. Okay, so that comes back as an array. So array is nothing but a collection of times. All right, so for that we will use a tool called iterator. Now if you go into this place, you go to flow control, there's something called iterator. Okay, and iterator is nothing but it actually cycles. It's like an Excel sheet. Okay, so in Excel sheet you have multiple rows. Similarly, an array is like that. You have value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To cycle through all the values, you need something called an iterator, which walks through all the values. Okay, and this is pretty straightforward. All it needs is so you will take a body from Google Calendar and you just put it here. That's it, and that's all you need to do. Now it will actually cycle through all of those values. All right. So the next thing is that we now have value in iterator. We already have the values, the date time values, but they are in text. Okay, and now we have to convert it into JSON format. The reason we need it to JSON format is so that we can give it to ChatGPT, and it can actually send the date to VAPI in a format which it can understand. Okay, so let's in after iterator we will put something called JSON, but this time it is to create JSON. Okay, so we need to create JSON. Let's pick up a data structure. We have a fitness now. Okay, so this is the early first one. So what I'll do is I'm going to create another one called fitness now, and I'll say DS2. Okay, and now what I'll do is you can say add item. Within add item, say value. Okay, and that is of type array, which is, so array has values, right? And it's basically a collection, so that is of type collection. And then when you go down, we have to write add item. Now in add item, you can say start time, or you just can say simply start, and it is of type date time. Where is date time? Okay, so which is date. And then we have another item, and we can say end or end time, whatever you want to call it. I'm just calling it end, and actually call it start time, start TM. I don't want to get confused with the other one, and this is TM. All right, so start time and end time. And then again, this is of type date, and that's pretty much it. Okay, and everything else remains exactly the same. So this is the way you need to set it up to create this, and that's it. And after this, you need to actually provide the value, right? So it needs to have the data. So how do you provide the data? So for that, we'll switch on this value. When you click on this one, and then from the iterator has got value, right? It has got all the values out here. So you will just pick up and just put it out here. That's it. So now what happens is all the iterator values which are coming in text will be converted to JSON format. Okay, and that's it. All right, great. So we have already done the iterator part. We have the JSON now. The final step in this whole process is adding a ChatGPT step. Now, why do we need ChatGPT? ChatGPT is needed basically to actually convert this into a format which VAPI assistant understands. Okay, so now let's add a ChatGPT step, and we will go to create a completion prompt. Okay, and the same thing, we have an OpenAI connection. I already have this one, so you should probably have the connection which you created. So you just have to address that. Again, select method, create a chat completion, and in the messages, again, like we did last time, we will actually use the same thing. In model, select for a system, and in the role, we'll have two roles. And one is the instruction, which is the system instructions, and the second will be the role, basically, which is your user one. Okay, and the purpose of this ChatGPT is that once the calendar fetches all the date and time, so let's say there's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever it is, okay, it converts that into a format basically which the VAPI AI understands. Okay, so let's see what the prompt will be for this particular one. All right, so this is the prompt which we'll be putting in the system. You will be provided with the busy slot from the calendar. Your task is to list the available times between 9 and 5 p.m. 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. After extracting the busy slots, just output the available times and the date. Okay, and the rules are, if it is a whole hour, say for example 9 a.m., do not say 9:00 a.m. sorry. And if it's a busy slot, goes from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., it means that there are no available slots for this day. So these are the rules which we need to add to ChatGPT. Okay, and then we will have a message for the user as well. Okay, and we'll put this right here. So in the user, we will add, these are the busy time slots from the calendar. All right, so all the time slots will come in a format, and this is basically where it's coming from the iterator, and we've already got that captured in JSON, right? And each start and end pair represent one busy slot, which basically means 9 to 10 a.m. or 10 to 11 a.m. and so on and so forth. All right, so let's cut that, copy that, and let's go here. We input this thing, and then for here, calendar, spelling is wrong. Okay, so I need this, and this is the JSON which we have created, right? So we will use this particular part out here. That's it. All right, so this is the JSON string which has got all the pairs. All right, so what exactly are the time available? Everything is right here, and this is what is given to ChatGPT to convert into a format which is readable. Okay, so this completes the ChatGPT part. Now this is done. Now the last step is max token. So max token, again, you can put it as 250 or 300. So I'm going to put it as 300, and we have everything. The system is there, model is there, everything is fine. All right, and say okay. And the final step is that we need to take this information and send it back to VAPI. So again, we need to do the last step, which is the webhook. Okay, so we set a response webhook. In response webhook, again, go back to VAPI, you pick up this particular part. This is the response format, and then we will go back to make, put this out here. And in terms of the tool call ID, you will enter the tool call ID, which is, go down, tool call ID within this particular portion, and tool call ID, and this is the ID which we pick up, this one, and that's it. And the result. Okay, so the result is that we need to say, okay, and then we just did this, and this is this, we need to put in the slots, and the slots are coming from the chat GPT. Okay, so this chat GPT, the Lewis model. So in this case, again, we go to choices. Within choices you have messages, within messages you have content. So this is the content right here. Okay, and that's it. So we already have this, everything is ready now. That's okay, and I think we're all set right now. So just save this and let's test this now. Let's go to VAPI and our assistant, and let's have a call.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hi Sarah, I'd like to book a gym tour.
Awesome, I'd be happy to help with that. Can I get your full name, please?
Yeah, my full name is Joe.
Great, Joe. When would you like to come in for the tour?
I'd like to come in tomorrow.
This'll just take a sec. All right, Joe. Here are 5 available times for tomorrow. 1, 9 a.m., 2, 10 a.m., 3, 11 a.m., 4, 1 p.m., 5, 2 p.m. Which one works best for you?
All right, okay, so this works fine. You've seen that it actually is working. Now, of course, it can't book an appointment because we don't have the second flow. So now let's work on the second flow, which is actually, this is checking availability. So the next one is that if the time is available, then it will book the appointment as well. Okay, so now we need to do the second flow. Okay, so in order to create a new assistant, what we need to do is, let's go to, so we'll not create a new assistant. The assistant will be the same. We need to create a new tool. Okay, so in this case, we did a check availability. Now what we need to do is we need to book, have a book appointment. Okay, and again, like this one, you'll have a name, email, phone number, and tour date at time. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking all this data and then confirming it with the user and then booking. If the user says, okay, if I'm okay with the available date and time, then you're booking the date. Okay, so let's go to new tool. Let's say make, and then again, we need to get this URL from make. Okay, I'm going to create a new scenario and we'll call it Fitness Now. All right, so now we need to create the book appointment workflow. Okay, and it is exactly the same thing. When VAPI actually sends data, it needs to be taken from VAPI and sent to Google Calendar. Now, how are you going to do that? We need a webhook. Okay, so let's go to webhook, and then in this case, it's going to be a custom webhook, and then it is create a webhook. Okay, and now I'm going to create a new one, and say Fitness Now, and webhook will be basically book appointment. So this is book. All right, so this is Fitness Now book appointment, and then just say save. So now it's saved. Copy this address and put it out here, and that's it. So now whenever the data travels from here, it goes directly to this webhook, which is polling for data. Okay, let's save this, go to next, and then I'm going to add 4 properties out here. Okay, so 4 is going to be name, email, phone number, and tour date and time. So name, date, and time which the user has requested. Okay, and that's it. So when you have save, this is all good. All 4 of them are there. So now say next, and in the name. So now we need to actually just put the name for the tool, which is book appointment. Okay, and just give a description. So description, as I said, was important because the LLM actually considers that as well. So all right, so that's it. So we have a book appointment, and this tool is used to book a gym tour after the user confirms his name, email, phone number, and tour date and time. So this is it, and then say create, and there you have. So we have a book appointment tool now. Okay, so now next step is to connect this with assistant. So we go here, we go to our assistant, and then we go to functions. Once we reach functions, this is, we have already have check availability here. So let's put in book appointments as well, and that's it. And then say publish. Perfect. So now it's connected. Everything is connected again. Now, if we test it, what will happen is, oh, okay, sorry. So we need to actually complete this. So the webhook should work, and we can test this. Call this and see what happens.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hi, could you book an appointment? Sorry, could you book a gym tour for tomorrow at 12 p.m.?
Sure thing. Can I get your full name, please?
My full name is Sandeep, Sandeep.
Thanks, Sandeep. So, you want a tour tomorrow at 12 p.m., right? Let me check the availability for you. Just a moment. Just a sec. All right, Sandeep. Here are 5 available times for tomorrow. 9 a.m., 10 a.m.
Let's do
11
9 a.m.
1. Great. I'll need your phone number and email to finalize the booking.
Okay.
No worries. Let's start with your phone number first.
Okay, my phone number is 12345678.
Got it. And your email, please?
And my email is 123@abc.com.
Just a sec. All right, Sandeep, I've booked your gym tour for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Here's what I have. Name, Sandeep. Phone, 123456778. Email, 123@abc.com. Tour, date and time, Sep 20, 2024 at 9 a.m. Does everything look correct?
Yes, it looks correct. Go ahead and book, please.
Awesome. Your gym tour is all set for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, perfect. So we already have the data. This, as you can see, this is run. The appointment booking system is run. So the first thing was to confirm the date. The second was to confirm all the information. And then, of course, it ran the command. Okay, so if you see our model and if you see our prompt, the thing was ask the name first, ask their name, ask their preferred date, and then run the function, this one, check availability. Once that is done, then it is, okay, list available times. The user wants to book within this thing and then confirm full name, confirm everything, and then after that, run the book appointment function. Okay, and so that's what exactly this is done. And okay, so now let's see if it has all the information. Tools, tool call list, and I'm going to go ahead and see intro function arguments, and you can see Sandeep 123@abc.com 1234, and then this is September 20th, which is, so today is September 19th, so this is for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Okay, so everything looks good, all this information is here. So now the next step is to actually add Google Calendar, and we have the data is coming in from VAPI. And now the next thing is to actually put this data into Google Calendar so it can actually execute the booking. Okay. The next step is to add a Google Calendar. So I'm going to add a calendar and say create an event. All right. And within create an event, you have to connect this thing. So we have already connected it to flipbytes.co. Create an event in detail, which is fine. Calendar ID, which is, I'm going to say the default one. Event name. So again, we can actually pick this up. So I can say something like gym tour booking for, and then the person's name, and the name I can pick up from here, from this variable. So tool function arguments, and then okay, so just pick up this name and put it out here. Okay, so that's it. All right, the next is start date and end date. So start date is going to be the time, which is this date, and the end date is either you can put the end date or you can put the duration. So I'm going to put the duration as 1 hour, which is 0100. Okay, and that's it. So it's going to book it for 1 hour, and that's it. And I think this is fine. And then once this is done, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this webhook back. Okay, so I'm going to say webhook, give a response back, and then 200. And okay, so I need to add the body again. So the body is, you go back to VAPI documentation, you pick this response, you put here, sorry. Okay, that's it. All right, and then in place of X, you delete the X, and I don't need this. I need the tool ID, which is right here, tool cal and ID. All right, so I'm just gonna put it here. Right, it has to be in the middle. And then in the result, I want to say, and the date and time. Okay, so when I can put this as function arguments, and then tour date and time, just before the apostrophe, and that's it. All right, and that's it. So what is this going to do is this webhook is actually going to send, once this event is booked, it'll send a message 200, which is success, and it'll tell the VAPI that, okay, the tool ID with this, and your appointment has been booked for this particular date to the user, and say okay, and let's run this now. Okay, I'm gonna run this, and let's see if this works. The calendar is open. Now I should be able to book the tour. So I'm just gonna go ahead and again execute this. Assistant, fitness now, create assistant. Okay, so now let's test this whole process. Okay, so this is also complete, and this is the booking flow, which is complete, and the check availability flow is also complete. Okay, so now we need to test it, and let's go back and test it from start. So now in order to test this, what we'll do is let's go back, but let's run the scenarios first. So I'm going to run this scenario. Okay, wait for new data, use existing. Okay, so now this scenario is running. Then we'll go to the next scenario. We'll run this as well. Okay, so this is also running. Now we go to VAPI, and then let's start the call. Okay, so let's do this.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hey Sarah, I'd like to book an appointment for tomorrow.
Sure thing. Can I get your full name, please?
My full name is Joe.
Great, Joe. So you want to book a tour for tomorrow? Let me just check the availability for you. Hang tight for a sec. I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. All right, Joe. Here are 5 available times for tomorrow. 1, 9 a.m., 2, 10 a.m., 3, 11 a.m., 4,
Let's do 11
1
a.m.
p.m., 5. Awesome choice. Can I get your phone number and email to finalize the booking?
Sure, my phone number is 12345678, and my email is 123@abc.com.
All set, Joe. Your gym tour is booked for tomorrow at 11 a.m. Is there anything else you need help with?
No, thank you. Awesome. Now you can see that the gym appointment is, the tour appointment has been created, and if you open that, it has all this information right here. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So now we have already created the AI assistant, and it is working perfectly. We've already checked it, and it works seamlessly, and it's actually booking the gym tours right, and it's right putting it into the calendar. There's only last step which is left, is that to connect the AI assistant with a phone number. Okay, so because the client is going to call the phone number, and once it calls that particular phone number, the AI assistant is going to activate it, and then of course whatever you just saw, it's going to ask questions and everything, but everything is going to happen on the hand phone, and that is where what we need to do. Okay, so the final step is to actually get a phone number. So now I already have a phone number connected. This is the phone number which is connected to the first agent, but I'm going to buy a phone number, and I'm going to show you how to buy one. Okay, so there are 2 options basically. One is that you can buy a phone number from VAPI. So from VAPI you can actually only buy phone numbers which are from US and Canada. All right, and there are 2 other options. The second option is that if you have a Twilio account, and Twilio again is, I'll just show it to you. This is Twilio for communication. It has amazing APIs and everything for communication, but it also has a feature wherein you can actually buy a number, and the numbers are available for US, Canada, Australia, a lot of other countries as well. So if you are outside US and Canada, then you can actually probably look at Twilio or Vonage. So I don't have a VAPI account, I don't have a Vonage basically, but I do have a Twilio account. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to buy a number in Twilio and then connect it to VAPI's AI assistant. So let's go to Twilio, and this is Twilio. I have an account, so basically I'm going to log in, but if you don't create an account, it's pretty straightforward. Once you create an account, you will come to the account dashboard right here. Okay, and this is where you will actually, so in order to buy a number, you'll go to manage, and within manage there's something called buy a number. Okay, and again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to buy a US number only. And you can select the number you want, pretty much like, if you know the area code, let's say if you want New York, you can do 212-646. Depending on the availability, you will get a choice. If in case they are not available, then of course you will not get that area code. All right, perfect. So I'm going to buy one of these numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and buy, and it's going to ask you, this is the number which you're buying. Are you okay with it? So I'm just doing it for the demo right now. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. 145. This number is done. I'm going to say buy. That's it. And that's like that. Have you purchased this particular number? And now it should show in your active numbers. Okay, and this is what I bought right here. You can see this. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up this number. Okay, and let's go to let's go to VAPI, and then out here in Twilio, just say the phone number, just paste the number out here. This is US number. You need your Twilio accounts SSID and auth token. So for that, I'm going to go to the account dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to copy account SSID. And then I'm going to copy auth token. And I can say VAPI SFO San Francisco. Okay, VAPI SFO, and then say import from Twilio. All right, so let's import. And there you go. So you see the number right here. That's it. Okay, so VAPI SFO. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it with an assistant. So you can see all the assistants here. This is our assistant, Fitness Now. So I'm just going to connect it there. That's it. And then say save. But for the purpose of this video, this is what we want. Okay. And that's it. And then after that is you're done. Fitness Now. And it is going to, this is the phone number. Okay. So let's call this number and see if it works. +1 415 903 6015. Okay, and you can see this right here. I'm going to call this number. All right, and let's call this right now. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, so let's go to, I have to start this. Proceed with, no.
Hello, this is Sarah from Fitness Now. How may I help you today?
Hi Sarah, I'd like to book an appointment, please.
Absolutely. Let's get you booked for a gym tour. Could you please tell me your full name?
My full name is Rob.
Great, Rob. When would you like to schedule your tour?
How about on Saturday?
Oh, we're actually closed on weekends. How about a weekday instead?
Okay, how about tomorrow at 9 p.m.?
We close at 5 p.m., so that won't work. How about we try for a time between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.?
All right, so why don't you book it for tomorrow at 9 a.m.?
Just a sec. All right, Rob. Here are 5 available times for tomorrow. 1, 9 a.m.
Okay,
2,
you can book it
10
for 9 a.m.
3, 11. Perfect. I'll need your phone number and email to finalize the booking. Could you provide those, please?
So my phone number is 12341111, and my email
Got it. And
is,
your email, Rob?
yeah, my email is rob@abc.com.
One moment. All set, Rob. Your gym tour is booked for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Else you need?
No, I'll be all. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is working fine, as you just saw, and it's booked the gym tour, and it works fine. So now we have actually connected that phone number, and now it's perfectly operational. Okay, so you can actually give this phone number on your website or wherever it is that you want to give, and then people can call you, and then they can easily book a gym appointment. So that wraps up this tutorial. And that's it. We have now created an AI voice agent with VAPI. I hope you liked the video and found it helpful. Also, we are a full service AI agency, so if you need help building a voice AI agent for your business or want to discuss some other AI project, schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me. I'll drop all the links in the description. Finally, here's another awesome step-by-step video on how to create a lead generation AI chatbot from scratch, or you can also watch another video that I'm sure you'll find very useful. I can't wait to see you in future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.